We're going to be looking at the democratic system of government in Nigeria, where the federal government is composed into three distinct branches: the legislative, the executive, and the judicial, whose powers are vested and bestowed on them by the Constitution of the Federal Republic of Nigeria, the National Assembly, the President, and the Federal Court, which includes the Supreme Court and is also considered as the highest court in Nigeria. It's Viewpoint on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji.
The system, like Nigeria presently, today, we have a multi-system parties in Nigeria, like the APC, the PDP, for the past 25 years. And since 1999 that democracy began to exist in Nigeria, the political parties has been they have put modalities in place to ensure that good governance should emerge. And the PDP, the APC, the Action, and all multi-parties in the country since 1999, we thought that the democratic government will alleviate the plight of the common man. But the parties are okay, but the problem is leadership. The leadership has been affecting various political parties in the sense of their manifestos, and they have a lot of manifestos, but the problem is that the implementation of their manifestos has been affecting the country because there is no good implementation. Like when a party A tells you this is what we will do, and the people will embrace it, based on their manifesto, let us support this political system. But unfortunately, are the people eventually involved in those political systems, the leadership, what they promised, the manifesto they promised the people, they fail to implement it. And that has been the problem we have been facing since 1999 of various political parties in this country. They have not been affecting the economy positively. Every day, the price of things has gone up. And this has been the problem we are facing. Now, for common man to rely on all these political parties has becoming a problem. Even the new parties that is also emerging, every individuals are afraid to say those parties who has been on the forefront, who has been saying that they are viable. But the problem is that if we still entrust our effort, because most of those viable parties that has been existing has failed, and the new parties that is coming up, everybody is losing their interest in the sense that they still believe that if those viable parties failed, what about the other ones that are not viable? And that is the problem we are facing, leadership problem. And based on all this, it has been affecting the common man. The common man find it difficult to have 3 square meal a day. The common man graduates in school are finding it difficult to get their jobs. Nigerians today, as at this time, the price of dollars is going high every day. And Nigerians who are supposed to be having a well-developed place here, because when you talk of the natural resources, we have the natural resources. But the manpower and the management of those natural resources has been the problem of this country. And based on this, many Nigerians are trying to leave the country to go and seek for survival, which is not supposed to be. Many nations who are not having these natural resources like Nigeria has, they are managing their resources. The citizens of that nations are embracing their nation. But Nigerian case, if you ask any common man now whether do they have hope for this nation, they will tell you no hope. This is our problem. We don't know what to do. Well, a lot of machineries has been put in place to improve on the system of government in Nigeria, but they are not working. And that is where everyone is losing interest, everyone is losing hope. That is why you find, because of the failed political parties, elections are coming. Instead of people to begin to rejoice, to go out, to go and vote their conscience, they discover that if we go out, our vote will not count. That is why the system has failed.
Democracy or democratic government is alien to African traditional system. It was brought here by the colonial masters. Having conquered African countries, Nigeria inclusive, and decided on their own to bring in different people together and introduce the government they call democracy. It's an importation. It's alien to our people. And today you can see the manifestation. Democracy as it was imported, came out from the Athenian philosophy, Athenian people. In Greece, we had this government of the people, for the people, and by the people. Meant to produce a government for the governance of the people, for the benefits of the people. Can you see today the democracy in Nigeria is out to benefit the people? Whereas the founders of this nation had those philosophy in idea. Awolowo, Nnamdi Azikiwe, what they call him, Tafawa Balewa, and what have you. Today, where is the public water? Where is light? The worst of all, where is security? And the democratic government have pauperized Nigerians. Many people eat from the gutters. Where the politicians who say they are running the affairs of the country are living lavish lives. They don't buy food, they don't pay for a house, they don't pay for security. They enjoy their life, where the common man is living in poverty. There's no security. I think as far as I'm concerned, democracy that was imported to Nigeria has failed. We should look for alternatives that can suit our purpose. Before they came, there were men. I happened to be a lecturer in university before I retired. There was a question I used to tell students that before the white men came, security was being maintained. The people knew how to maintain their security. There was no modern day police. They maintained law and order. Everybody was a police to guard the society. Today, what do you have? Total breakdown of law and order. No security. Soldiers on the highway, police on the highway. Where are criminalities are inside the bush? How do you move forward? And to me, we should look for alternative. Democracy have failed.
The truth is, in Nigeria, the democratic system of government is not really reflecting what it ought to be. Because if you look at democratic system of government, it actually means democracy, the government of the people, for the people, and by the people. And what that entirely means is that the people are more responsible for the decision making of the system. And if you look at what we have in Nigeria today, the reverse is the case, where you see that the elected officer that we have elected to go and represent us, they are supposed to take care of our interests. They are supposed to look at our interests first before anything. But what they do is that they go out there to represent their own interests. So that is totally against what democracy means and what the democratic system of government means. So the people are the core values and the core reason for democracy. So when you see that an elected officer go out there and begin to do something totally different, it is not right. And it is so unfortunate that this is what we actually see in Nigeria every now and then. It has been a norm that nobody can do anything about it. So for me, I think it is high time that the people begin to understand very clearly that they must hold the leaders accountable. They must tell them and make them understand that you are our representative. It is our interest that matter. It is what we have said you should do that you should do. You don't go out there to go and begin to represent your interest, but you need to look at the generality of the people and understand what they need and understand what really is their problem, and then begin to focus on that. That is the basic thing. That's how to know a true democratic system of government. It's so unfortunate that what we are practicing in Nigeria is not democracy, and yet we say we are in democracy. We keep saying that we are practicing the democratic system of government. It is a fat lie. Nigeria is far away from practicing democracy. What we see is people practicing autocracy and authoritarian system of government, which is very wrong. So Nigeria, we have a long way to go, and the people must begin to hold their leaders accountable, because it is the people that even allow for this. When a leader go out there, or an elected officer go out there to represent you, and they begin to do anything, you don't care, because when they come and they give you some little money, you begin to forget that this is what you are this is what you are supposed to hold them accountable for. But then you cannot blame the people, because the leadership and the system in Nigeria has perpetually put the people in abject poverty. So when they come around, this elected officer, they have no little strength to talk about the real core issues affecting the people. So that's where we find ourselves, and we hope that we begin to move forward as the people begin to ask questions, about what the leader does with their elected office.
Freedom is the best gift from God. For me, democracy is freedom. Not freedom in quote, maybe giving you access to do anything contrary to the constitution, but freedom for you to have access to express yourself, criticize whosoever is there, make some amendment, do some adjustment, come out maybe as a group or as a protest group or as activism or any part of system you want to build to express yourself lawfully. So that's what democracy gave to us. But another thing that I've seen is the abuse. The abuse on the other side, and especially the corridor of power. So liberty is one of the factors that democracy gave to us to do what is right. But at the corridor of power, we only have abuse. People trying to use their office to oppress the same people that voted for them. People trying to use the office to enrich themselves. For us, democracy gave you opportunity to serve. So if you are not serving, you are not really practicing democracy. It's a gift of love, ability for you to come out, show yourself, tell your people, that this is what I have for you and all that. So the abuse is there, not really good for us. Because remember, if the other side of it was not a democracy, you see the way the military we set a standard for you, and you don't just dare do things anyhow. But this time, people just say a lot of things. The social media now is another factor that for me, if I have my way, I'll find a way to pass a law, if I'm maybe for example at the Senate, to see how we can reduce and streamline the way we abuse the social media. I always tell people, sometimes we were not taught how to use our GSM, which for us, it was a problem ahead of us, and today we are seeing everything coming up. The same way social media, nobody taught us how to use Facebook. There are some laws and some regulations that we are supposed to practice when we are using some of these social media handles. For example, if I'm going for a contract, or maybe I want to go for a meeting, very important meeting, or maybe I'm a student, I want to listen to my lecturer over again. All I need to do is just to set my phone, put it on record. A lot of people don't do that. If I want to explain something to you, then I need to spend more time to explain to you in details. Why will I take my money, buy airtime of 1,500? I just go to your voice record, I do it, I send to you, listen to it. But because we're not taught how to use some of these new modern technology, so we abuse it. So for me, abuse is one of the things that we have suffered in democracy. And abuse for me is also, even the masses as well, apart from the corridor of power, a lot of people now, election is almost everywhere sometimes. You see the masses that want the best for themselves are also telling you to give me money. All right? So they approve the right for them to choose their leader by collecting money in advance. And when they don't perform, you see them also coming out to cry. So for the people in power, they abuse democracy. The other side of the coin, the masses are also abusing it. So far, it's a privilege for us to have it. It's a love, it's a show of love, it's a service table for everybody who wants to serve. But so far, they have abused the system, and they keep on abusing the system. All sector, all right? So if you go to some places, the healthcare sector, even the judiciary, a lot of abuse, all right? But so far, I believe we are going to see the best soon. And the best we can do is what Edo State government are doing now at the moment, to find a way to streamline that abuse by going digital. All right. So if you watch what is happening in Edo State, the bureaucracy system in democracy that people practice right in the civil service, it naturally restrain and limit a lot of decisions. All right. If you go to some other state, you see a file of about 3 months, 4 months still there, nobody to attend to them. But in Edo State, once you drop your file, you submit your memo in less than 48 hours, everybody respond to it. I see it on my tray, you see it on your tray, everybody respond to it. Governor can wake up in the morning, sign over 10 to 20 memos. As you are brushing your teeth, you just check the memo, what is this, you sign and approve. So one of the ways to control that abuse in democracy is to go digital. That's what we are doing now at the moment. But for me, I will encourage us to keep our faith tight, all right, to work towards having a good Nigeria and enjoying this democracy that we have here. So I will always talk less because for me, I believe in service. I believe democracy gives you power to serve. That's my definition for democracy. It gives you power to serve. It's a freedom to serve, not freedom to intimidate, not freedom to abuse, not freedom to demonstrate unlawfully, and not freedom to say things because you are in democracy. No. There are things you are not supposed to say. Because you are in democracy, you just want to say everything. No. There's reservation, in this sector. And we believe that by the grace of God, we'll see more of good democracy. And I'm also happy that the new government, they are doing much, both at the federal and the state. And I'm also hoping that we'll see a new reform in the civil service. Because for me, I will tell you that the major problem we have in this democracy is at that corridor of civil service. Because that is the engine room of every government. Elected position will come and go, appointed position will come and go, but that system needs to be refined, because all the bulk of the abuse and the bulk of the intimidation and everything happen in that particular corridor. All right, so I want the new government to go into reforms. Let's reform our civil service structure. All right, let's reform the mindset of our youth. Let's find a way to, if I have my way, all right, I will go as far as going to university to change the curriculum. Let's start teaching people from the start what you are going to face when you are done from school. Nobody taught me how to use money, how to make money, how to maximize money, how to make profit. All right? So let's start teaching them. If I have my way as an agri student, for example, they should teach me how to, if I'm an animal science student in the faculty of agri, I should know how to have poultry farm, how to set up poultry farm, how to have animal farm from start. Do you understand? So let's start doing that. For example, if I'm going for electrical engineering at the university level, I should meet with companies that are doing the job already. I should go there and get some information from there, updated information. These days, you see a medical doctor who can't do anything naturally. You see a computer engineering student who don't even know how to service anything. Do you understand? You are done from school, you go back to the same system and start looking for a way. Somebody is asking you for experience. Which experience are you talking about? So the reform, this democracy reform should start from first the civil service structure to the university sector. Let's reform our healthcare sector. Let's reform the entire system. If we reform this sector that runs the democracy is just the whole love symbol. But inside the democracy, there are some ingredient there. One is the civil service. All the sectors are the ingredient that make democracy. Because democracy gave birth to that access. All right. So for me, reform is needed, and our mindset need to change as well.
The system here, which is democracy, it is a good system. But the problem we're having here now in the country is that it is not being applied properly to the interests of the people. The people who are the operators of the system are not doing anything at all. And not only the tenants of the system, so people are not getting any benefit from the system of democracy that we are applying. But we are beginners in the system, so I believe with time we'll be able to correct our mistakes and ensure that people get what they are supposed to get from democracy. This is the best system. It gives room to every person to express their view and also participate in government. But the way it is now, because of the actors, people who are operating the system now, it is not doing very well. The masses, they have a very big role to play. If you follow me up properly, with my ideology, I believe in citizen corruption. I tell you that most of the problems we have today, despite the actors, those leaders are not doing what they're supposed to do. The citizens are the biggest problem we have. When we talk about corruption in the country, we're talking about the citizens, mostly, because everybody now is corrupt. You understand? So we are not also playing our roles very well. Election time, we don't value our votes. We give it out for peanuts. We don't. We know the leaders who can really lead, but we don't follow them when it comes to election, especially when money does not come out. Imagine a senator who is in the Senate. If he comes back and tells his people that they shared money yesterday with 10 million as bribe for certain things, but they didn't take it because I want to rule well, I want us to, I want the country to progress. They say we should take this one to go and bribe our people in the local. I didn't accept in this local government. Such a senator, they will throw stones at such a senator. He will never go back there again. I hope both will say that you let our money in Abuja, come here and tell us story. So I also believe the citizens of this country, they are the biggest problem that the country has. Imagine you say your mechanic will cheat you, your driver go and buy for it, will not buy, the driver will not buy complete. Many corruption, they don't encourage the system of government to operate. So I also believe that the citizens are also a very big part of the problem.
Just quickly before we call it a wrap on Viewpoint on ITV, I just want to be letting our leaders at all levels know that the citizens are really expecting much from them to provide us with the basic amenities that we need. It's Viewpoint once again on ITV. I am Caroline Okonji.